Hey, this is Jared from XENEK, and in today's video, I'm gonna walk through proper setup and takedown of our Ascent ground blind. It's important to note that our ground blinds are taller than they are wide, so the setup and takedown procedure is a little different than you would do for a ground blind that's shaped more like a square. Also, when you first start setting up any ground blind, you should always check and confirm that all 5 hubs are separated and not intertwined. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, and then the next step, I'm gonna find a hard wall. What we mean by that on the Ascent ground blind is the Ascent blind has 2 hard walls and 2 soft walls. The hard walls are solid 600 denier polyester fabric, whereas the soft walls are 4-way stretch. They're very easily distinguished between each other. So I'm just gonna open the blind up, and I can tell right away that this is what we would call one of the hard walls. I'm gonna step on the center bottom flap of the wall, like so. And then I'm just gonna reach in and grab, you can either reach in and grab either the pull tab, or I like to actually grab the rod itself as close to the hub as possible through the fabric and give it a hard pull while pushing back on this wall. As soon as that's done, the blind will sit like so. We're gonna walk around, or in this case, I'll spin the blind around so you can see it. And I'm gonna stand on the ground flap on the opposite side of the wall that I've deployed. See the ground flap right here. I'm gonna grab both corners of the blind, and I'm just gonna lift, and it can be a fairly hard pull. There we go. I'm gonna continue to stand on the ground flap while I deploy the roof. And then I'm gonna stay standing on that ground flap, reach in and deploy the wall. From there, you just deploy the other 2 walls and set up your blind as you need to, stake it down, adjust your windows, etc. All right, and now for the takedown of the XENEK Ascent blind. It's important to go ahead and close all of the windows on the 4-way stretch side. Because the fabric is loose by design, if you do not do this properly, it can wind up getting bunched up when you take it down, and then it won't deploy as easily the next time. So I always recommend connecting the top window to the bottom windows, and then the bottom window inside here to the hub straps. So basically all the way around, I've rebuttoned up the 4-way stretch window before we start taking the blind down. Now what we like to do is take the 2 hard walls and a soft wall down first, and then the roof. So I'm gonna walk around the back, and again, when we talk about hard walls, we're talking about the 600 denier polyester fabric, not this stretchy 4-way fabric. So I'm gonna collapse the first hard wall, second hard wall, a soft wall, and then let the blind collapse like that. Go ahead and punch the roof in next, and your last wall is going to be a soft-sided wall. And you might feel like you're gonna break the blind when you do this step, because there's a lot of pressure required, but we have solid fiberglass rods for a reason. They undergo a lot of stress. You're gonna grab one corner in one hand and press really hard down in the center with the other, and the blind will collapse like so. Now, before you put it in the bag and tie it up, let's make sure that those 5 hubs are all separated like we talked about at the top of the video on the install. They are, so I'm gonna go ahead and bunch this blind up like so. It's ready to go back in the bag.